Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Hangout with ST. She's Alyssa.
And he's Hairianto, and Hangout with ST is a weekly show where we bring you top stories of the week.
That's right, anything that is local to everything that's happening
Around the world.
And this is episode 74.
Yay, very nice. And as always, we are coming to you live from the Straits Times newsroom, so do leave your comments and we'll read it later during the show.
Yeah, and of course we have our very own Instagram and email address, of which people have been... Do you know that we actually received a direct message on Instagram?
Yes.
Yeah, a company
I
that
know,
wants to collaborate with us.
Yes, and Yan has been faithfully replying to every one of them.
Yeah, every one
job,
of them
Yan.
is just Alex. Like.
Oh, Alex, just one
but
guy,
thank
Alex.
you so much, Alex, for writing to us. We really appreciate it. For those, of course, for brands who want to collaborate, or if you feel that this is something that you want to be on as well, just drop us a message.
Yeah,
a story idea. Yeah, just drop us a message, DM or on our email.
And we'll reply.
That's right. And this week we are going to be talking about what to do if you're caught in a fire emergency.
Exactly, do you know what to do? And also we'll speak to a doctor about fertility issues, whether certain modern lifestyle habits is actually affecting your fertility.
Very important for me to know also, especially what kind of undergarment I should wear, correct?
Yes, and we'll get to that later. You'll find out later, okay?
Yep. And of course, movie buffs, we have the Marvel has announced latest movies that will be out in 2021?
From 2020 and then 2021 as well.
Right.
Also known as their Phase 4.
Phase 4, yeah. And then of course we'll end things off with Facebook Face Off.
Which you won last week.
1-0.
Yeah, so I'm 0,
Oh,
obviously.
yeah.
So
But then again, both of us still hold the world record lah.
we tied, yeah.
Okay, let's see what people are saying online. We have Samuel Chua says hello.
Hi, Clive Chua also says hi. Oh, someone shared our stream. That's nice, Gustavo. Thanks, Gustavo.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a lot of interesting topics today. We have a lot of questions for you guys to interact with us. And if you have any questions for our guests, do put them in and then we'll get them to answer it too.
Sorry, I was just busy.
I realized.
Joining our conversations, all right? So tell all your friends and family members that we are online right now.
Okay, so the headlines for this week has been inundated with PMD-related fires. Just this week alone, there was 2 related to PMD, and 1 person actually died from injuries relating to that. And in fact, last year, there were more PMD-related fires compared to the year before.
Exactly. Now, if you're an e-scooter owner or PMD, right, you might want to be more vigilant in how and when you are charging your device. Now, our colleague actually did a video on this, so have a look.
Recent fires involving personal mobility devices have once again turned up the heat on PMDs. How can you charge your e-scooter safely? How can you make sure your e-scooter's battery is safe for use? I'm going to find out.
You can't just buy a charger off a shop, come back and charge your device, because these chargers are specifically rated to complement with the device, because different devices have different voltages, ratings. So you must purchase a compatible charger that also has a safety mark. Batteries are subjected to charging cycles. Users have to gauge, right, when they find that the battery isn't holding as much charge as before, or perhaps when they find that, when riding, something is not right. Just bring it over to an authorized retailer, and the retailer will get it checked out. They'll replace it for you. Now, retailers have various equipments that they can use, such as a voltmeter, so they can actually test and see if the battery is still in healthy condition.
Batteries that are UL2272 certified have a higher safety standard. This means that they can withstand various stresses, such as exposure to different temperatures. Make a habit of checking the battery for damage or deformities. Does it look bloated or corroded? Does it have a powdery residue? These are warning signs which may lead to overheating and fires.
There you go. For more tips and advice and for the full video, do log on to our website at www.straitstimes.com. And that is actually our new colleague, Renee, who's just joined us.
So please welcome Renee.
Yeah, welcome.
Okay, so let's say you know how to charge a PMD scooter, okay, and you're confident that it won't catch a fire at home. But are you that confident? Is that a guarantee that it's not gonna happen at home? And when it does happen, what are you gonna do?
Exactly, right? So for those of you who are watching at home or wherever you are, right, our question to you is, do you know what to do if a fire breaks out at home? Right? Because the thing is, sure, you can say use a fire extinguisher. Are you confident of using a fire extinguisher?
I'm not.
And you have a fire extinguisher at home.
Yeah, I do. Then I heard also, do you stop, drop, roll? Do you call fire brigade first, or do you try to handle the fire your own? Or
correct. Like, do you take items out of your house?
That's what I would do, but you say no.
No, of course not. You got to save yourself.
But some things you can't buy back.
I would probably try to save my Toto lah.
Your Toto?
Yeah. I think very important, you know that one.
Okay, your Toto.
I mean, like,
it's something money cannot buy, right?
It's something money cannot buy, exactly.
Okay,
but whatever it is, right, you know, to share with us some tips on fire precautions and what to do exactly in a fire emergency, we have a very special guest on the show. Let's welcome Daniel Lim.
Yay! Okay, so is this new thing where we have our guest walk on?
Hi.
Hi Daniel.
Thank
Okay,
you.
right.
Thank you for having me.
No, we're glad to have you. Okay, so Daniel came bearing, I would like to say gifts, but they're not gifts. Just things that you should have at home.
And a bit more about Daniel now. Daniel is the head consultant at Fire Prevention Centre Singapore. Now, this centre is founded in 2006, and they offer fire safety and prevention awareness programs and seminars to the public and organisations. They are not accredited by the government, but their consultants are trained on fire safety and emergency readiness.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
So briefly, Daniel, I know we covered a lot of things, but is there anything you would like to say to people watching?
Oh, hi everybody.
Okay, yeah, that's good enough. we did say a lot of things for him.
Yeah. Now, Daniel, maybe for a starter, if you could
Yes.
briefly share with us, you know, what does the Fire Prevention Centre do?
Okay. As you said, the Fire Prevention Centre was started in 2006. That's about 13 years ago.
Yeah.
And our company mission is actually to help companies and families to protect their property, their asset, but I think most importantly is human life. Which is why we conduct an emergency readiness seminar for SME, for MNC, for government department, community center, RC, to increase their awareness. Because we always believe that awareness must precede prevention.
Okay. And talking about, of course, you mentioned, you know, awareness and all that. Regarding, so with fire, right, and education and all that, what are usually the biggest misconceptions that people have about fires?
Misconception. I think if you look at the statistics, every year we have about 4,000 cases of fire. All right, and
Are they at home mostly?
and majority, 62%, happen in residential.
Oh, okay.
So it's something that I think a misconception is that most of the fire happen at the workplace. On the contrary, majority happen at home.
And what sort of fires? Is it like kitchen fire? Is it
Yeah, it
electrical
ranges from
fire?
kitchen fire to electrical fire to rubbish chute fire. Yeah, but electrical fire is on the rise, and that is something that we are quite worried.
Quite worried about.
And do you see a lot of that related to PMD?
Oh yes.
Like phone chargers and all that?
Yeah, I think from 2017 to 2018, I think there's a jump of, I think 50%.
It's a lot.
I think the figure is 49 to 74.
Okay.
995.
Okay.
That's a huge jump.
Yeah, it is. And of course, you know, talking about different types of fire, and this is something that, you know, probably people don't know at home, right? Where different fires, actually, there are kind of like different ways for you to manage them, right?
Yep.
Maybe, Daniel, if you can share with us a bit more. So there is like electrical fires, there's oil fire,
You don't put it out in water,
Yeah.
right?
By and large, fire are categorized into A, B, C.
Okay.
A is for things like wood, paper, plastic, where you can use water,
Okay.
right? It will not backfire.
Yep.
Class B is for flammable, liquid, and gases.
Okay.
Class C is for electricity,
Right.
Okay.
electrical fire.
Right.
So for electrical fire, Class C and Class B, do not use water.
Ah.
It can backfire.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
which one
So
should
for Class A, B, and C,
Yep.
you can safely use a dry powder fire extinguisher, something like this.
Oh,
It's a 1 kilogram dry powder.
Okay.
All right? And just remember the acronym PASS.
Pass. Okay.
4-step acronym.
Okay.
PASS.
Okay.
P stands for pull.
Pull the pin.
Pull the
Okay.
safety pin. Aim at the bottom of the fire.
Okay. Bottom of the fire, yeah?
Bottom.
Okay.
Make sure you are not against the wind direction.
Okay.
Powder may shoot back.
That is
All right.
Okay.
And also very important, make sure the pressure indicator is pointing at the green zone.
That means there is
Pressure.
content in that line.
Yes, there is a nitrogen gas. Yeah. But if the pressure were to drop, if the indicator will drop to the left-hand side, red zone, that means there is no more nitrogen gas.
Okay.
Can't propel.
Okay.
Powder couldn't come out.
Yeah.
So it's very important if you are keeping this at home, every year, please make sure you check the pressure gauge. Make sure the indicator must be always on the green zone.
Ellie, you must check your fire extinguisher at home.
Okay.
Do your yearly inspection.
Got it.
Okay, so PA and then
And
the first S. Okay.
Would you like to guess what is the next S?
Squeeze.
Squeeze,
Spray.
correct.
What do you say?
Spray.
Spray is the
Squeeze,
last one actually squeeze.
All right,
Okay.
squeeze. All right, stand about 1.5 to 2 meters away from
Okay.
the fire, and then you just sweep left and right.
Or sweep.
Or spray
So
lah.
if you do it correctly,
Yeah.
if you are using a good quality fire extinguisher,
Yeah.
you should be able to stop the fire within a few seconds.
Okay, so how do we know when we can handle that fire and when do we know this fire is
Yeah.
too big to handle, we should
Now,
just
that's a very,
run?
very
Yeah.
important question.
Okay.
Yeah. Suppose if the fire is at the infant stage, just started.
So there's a certain height?
All right. Usually it won't be that high.
Okay.
All right. If you are confident,
Yeah.
if you know how to deal with the fire,
Yeah.
we suggest that try to stop the fire.
Okay.
But if you see the fire spreading and it's full of thick smoke,
Yeah.
that is a good indication to run already,
Okay.
right? To run.
Yeah. And of course, call the relevant
Call
authorities lah.
995, the firefighter.
So, sorry, what does it mean when once you see smoke?
Yeah, once you see a lot of smoke emitting, it can hurt you.
Okay.
So I think that is a good indication that run for your life, evacuate immediately.
Is it advisable, to say bring your toto out?
Go
or
find your chocho.
find your toto, or go and quickly find family heirloom to take it out and all that. In the event, if let's say in the event where there's thick smoke and all that,
Yeah.
it's not advisable, right? I will realize, I reckon.
You mean in the event there's thick smoke in the
Yeah.
house,
Yeah.
and what should we do?
Yeah.
If you can't
the
run,
question?
is it? If you can't run?
Yeah, as in if
You're
let's say, there is a fire, there is a big fire, often people will go I need to save certain items and whatnot.
they run back.
Is it advisable?
Yeah. It's very dangerous to run back.
Yeah.
I think you just mentioned someone got killed
He died. Yep.
running back to save a pet, I think.
Yeah, correct.
So usually we don't encourage people to run back, especially most injury are actually caused by smoke inhalation.
Right.
So when there are a lot of toxic gas, typically get out as soon as possible.
So actually, that's what makes people lose consciousness. It's not so much like the fire burns them. It's
Yeah.
they
Most
probably
injury
hit first.
actually occur because of smoke inhalation.
Right.
Okay.
Because when smoke enter our lungs, our lung can actually get damaged,
Yeah.
right? And we suffer from respiratory failure that
Right.
can lead to sudden death.
Yeah.
So in an event like this, when you're trapped, when the smoke attack you, it can be very fatal within seconds.
Okay.
So usually we encourage residents to keep a smoke hood at home.
Okay.
All right. So in the event if the smoke attack you and you cannot breathe
Okay.
and your eyes are hurting from the smoke,
Yeah.
quickly tear it open,
Yeah.
remove the smoke hood and slot it in.
Put it on.
Within 5 seconds, you can put it on.
Right.
And then you can evacuate.
Okay.
So usually go for those that are certified
Yeah.
by Singapore PSB.
Yeah.
And make sure it must have an exhale valve to allow your carbon dioxide to escape.
Right. Right. And Daniel, in the event, say you don't have a fire extinguisher at home, right? Or you realize that maybe your fire extinguisher has run out of gas, right? What are the equipment that we can use? Say if it's a small fire, it's a manageable fire. What can people do?
Yeah. If it is an electrical fire, we don't suggest you try to fight the electrical fire. It can be very dangerous if you
Okay.
don't have a dry powder fire extinguisher.
Okay.
But if it is just a normal fire, like wood, paper,
yeah.
plastic.
Yeah.
You can use water.
Ah, okay.
Can we just like beat the fire
Yeah,
out?
what about like blanket, to just...
To fill the pail of
To
water?
kill off the oxygen.
To kill off the oxygen,
to
correct.
kill oxygen.
Yeah.
For Class A fire, I think you can do that.
But you got to make sure the towel is not flammable because some towels have acrylic in it.
Ah,
Acrylic material.
okay, wow.
You know, you have a bigger fireproof.
Oh, no,
Why are you so impressed? Hello, you are.
Okay. And you know, of course, Daniel, other than that, so you said fire extinguisher, smoke hood.
Yep.
What else would you reckon that people should have?
Yeah. We would highly recommend for every home to have smoke alarm. It's a battery-operated smoke alarm because, especially when we are not aware there's a fire, when we are sleeping.
Yep.
And when fire occurs, it can spread very fast, especially electrical fire.
Yep.
And by the time we are aware, it could be too late.
Right.
We don't have time to evacuate.
Yep.
So by installing the battery-operated smoke alarm, something like this, all right, you can install yourself within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. Once you detect the smoke, it will give out 85 decibel of sound.
Right.
It sounds something like this.
Oh, wow.
That's
That's pretty
loud.
loud. Yeah.
Yeah, it alerts you that there is a fire.
Yeah.
Evacuate as soon as you can.
Okay. And then we have a question right here from Samuel Chua that asks, if I don't have a fire extinguisher, but a fire blanket, is it good enough?
Okay, fire blanket you can use for kitchen fire. All right, I think that is good. Unfortunately, suppose if the air conditioner
Yeah.
with the caught fire,
Yeah.
I can't use a fire blanket, right? It will drop down, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you need a portable fire extinguisher, stand
okay.
1.5 meter and PA.
SS. There we go. PASS.
We learn
Pass.
fast.
Pass. Okay.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, I think what is really most important is that we need to have the fire extinguisher, right? And the dry powder.
I think it's highly encouraged. Yeah.
The dry powder kind,
Dry powder
because
kind.
then it can tackle ABC, all
Yes.
types of fire, right?
Yes,
The electrical fires, the wood fires.
Yes, and gases and yeah.
Okay, so maybe we can talk about this before you go. What is this?
Oh, this is emergency tools. It's called an escaper. Sometimes during a fire outbreak, we are trapped.
Right.
Yeah. You can hold it up.
All right, we are trapped.
Yeah.
And we want to alert others. Let's say, for example, elderly person got trapped.
Yeah.
She cannot scream.
Yeah.
All right, so in this type of situation, quickly,
Oh, it's
we
just
can
like,
switch on the flashing red light and on the siren like this.
it sounds like a toy, but
Yeah.
That sounds like a toy.
it does.
Yeah.
So it will alert someone is trapped inside. So I think it will assist the firefighter
Okay.
to locate the person and quickly help the person to evacuate. And it's also a torchlight, and it has a flashing red light, and even a safety hammer.
Yeah.
If I need to break the glass for evacuation,
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I need to break the glass. Just use a safety hammer, break the glass,
Right.
and help everyone to evacuate.
Right. Right.
So where can we buy something like this? Is it only online? Is there like...
You can get from some of this equipment. You can get for those companies that sell fire safety equipment. Yeah. But important thing is to go for the good quality one.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, there have been cases as well, right, where there are scammers. Yeah. Now, if you're planning to get a fire extinguisher after watching this, just be careful also not to buy them from scammers, especially if the person selling to you say that they're from SP Group and is selling it from door to door. Right.
And
There have been cases as well.
Yeah, and if they ask for your IC and all that, then I think you should be a bit more suspicious.
Yeah, because under PDPA, remember, you're not supposed to reveal your information.
Yeah, or to a security guard. So
Yeah.
when you go visit condo, then you gotta go right.
Correct.
Visit
If you
what
watched
time.
TBS earlier, our big story episode, you would have known that. But we digress. But in any case, Daniel, thank you so much, for coming onto the show to share with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, to share more about fire safety and what to do during a fire emergency, because it's easy to say, right?
And I really enjoyed show and tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy to say that, oh yeah, take a fire extinguisher. But then do you really know how to use a fire extinguisher,
No.
So at least now you know.
Now I know.
Yeah,
Now I know.
exactly, right?
Pass.
Yeah, pass.
Pass.
That's it, right? Again, of course, we have Daniel right here. Now, Daniel is from the Fire Prevention Center Singapore. And thank you again for coming onto our show.
you.
All right, let's see. We have some comments, Alyssa.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so Stephen Go says, okay, I think the more rightful question is what we should do if our neighbor's house catches fire. And then he's asking about damages and compensation. So I think this one you need to discuss with your insurance
this is a bit
agent.
out of our depth.
Yeah. Okay. Someone asked, can buy from Taobao? I think better not buy from Taobao. All the fire equipment you need, don't bet your life on Taobao. Go for a good quality one.
Yeah. And then we also have Ohio Lin that says, go for quality of acceptable price. So Keith Timothy, wow, very good. To recap, pass is pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep.
Thank you, Keith.
All right, now moving on to our second segment. Ellie, I know you like kids.
I do, yes. I
and
like
you
kids.
speak fondly of your nephews and niece.
And of kids in general. I do like kids in general. But how about you, Yan? In case, okay, so if you're a regular viewer, you will know that Yan doesn't like kids.
No, okay. Can I justify myself on this?
Okay, sure, go ahead.
It's not that I don't like
Stage is yours.
It's not that I don't like kids. I'm okay with kids for 30 minutes. And then after that, I'm done.
Okay, so viewers, do you think that sounds like he likes kids? Yes, no, okay.
No, the thing is, think about it. Sometimes I'm not even, I cannot even be responsible for myself. How can I be responsible for another small person?
Well, preach it. Okay, so like what Yan says, we want to ask you guys, what do you think about the responsibility of having a child?
Exactly. Now, we're talking about kids because the number of babies born here last year fell to an 8-year low. Now, this is not good news, of course, because we are already facing an aging population. Now, we need to maintain the replacement rate of 2.1. Last year, our total fertility rate is at 1.14.
And if you're wondering what's the big deal, it's because the population must be replenished to ensure that a vibrant economy can be maintained and also support.
But the thing is, you brought up a good point, right? Because there's some superstitious.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, so I actually got it a bit wrong. Okay, so I thought that, is there a reason why last year so little babies were born? And I thought, is it got to do with the zodiac?
Right.
Okay, so I mistakenly thought that it's because of the year of the pig. So therefore, there's not a lot of babies. Actually, it's the year of the dog last year. This year is the year of the pig.
Okay.
But remember when it's the year of the dragon? Then suddenly there's a lot of babies.
Yeah, because I'm born in the year of the dragon.
Yeah, you're one of them. So it was very competitive for you, right? I'm sure your O-levels and E-levels, primary 1 and 3,
Yeah, maybe that's why I don't like kids. There's so many of us. I mean, at the end of the day, the birth figures reflect current socio-economic trends. More young people choosing to be single and couples delaying marriage and parenthood.
And so if that's you, I mean, you can share with us whether you agree with some of these reasons. If you feel that the global financial market affects your, like climate change also, if you feel that you don't want to bring your child into this world to suffer. Some people have that reasoning,
Exactly.
right?
And then, of course, there is the factor of stress and balancing work schedules. Maybe, you have conflicting schedules with your partner. It's very difficult for you to kind of like take care of a child, right? Yeah, you can't have family time together of sorts.
And I find in that way, actually, that kind of thinking is quite responsible as well. Because knowing that you're not able to look after a child well, therefore you don't have a child.
Exactly. So for those of you, of course, watching us at home, right, what do you think can motivate couples to start a family? So one, of course, we thought that, maybe employers should be more supportive.
Give you more time, maybe just be more understanding, I suppose.
Exactly. Because there is always this culture where if you are overcommitted and then, you put in the long hours and all that, you get like, you are seen to be like, oh, you are like the star model worker, right? But maybe that person, just really doesn't have a life outside of work, right?
It's quite sad, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, these kind of things, right? We need to kind of like have a mindset change as well, right?
Just because your colleague is not there 12 hours, 16 hours doesn't mean that,
Yeah, exactly. There is also support from family members. I think, parents, of course, not asking the parents to be full-time nannies, but of course, parents can possibly step in, to once in a while help the couple out.
Although we understand sometimes some couples, they don't have their parents around. So in that case, there's childcare, but then again, that's cost.
Exactly.
Cost issues.
And then, of course, it is up to individual as well, commitment, right? Whether you're ready to have a kid.
Whether you like kids or not. Also, I think that's very important. First and foremost, you like kids or not, then you think about whether you want a kid.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just not nurturing, Alyssa. But whatever it is, so we know about social factors.
Yeah.
Now we want to talk about
fertility
matters, right? Or other factors that can also cause couples not being able to have kids or just low fertility rate.
Yep, that's right. So to help us, we have a doctor coming onto the show. He's Dr. Tan Tiam Chai. He is from Mount Elizabeth Novena Hospital.
Welcome, Doctor. Doctor is going to just walk in.
And do his, hello, oh yes, we do the handshake.
Okay, yes, Doctor, thank you so much. Now, of course, Dr. Tan here is an obstetrician and gynaecologist at Mount E Novena Hospital, which Alyssa has mentioned. So thank you, Doctor, for coming onto the show, spending some time with us, to hang out with us.
Yes, I'm delighted to be here.
Is there anything you want to say to whoever's watching?
Hi, everyone. So obstetrician is a big word. In other words, I'm a delivery man. Actually, in my WhatsApp, I'm a delivery man 24/7.
Okay. So there's a high chance someone could just ping you right now, and then you have to drop us and go.
Yes.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right. So, Doctor, maybe, if you could share with us, apart from genetics, right? What are certain modern lifestyle habits that that could lower one's fertility or chance of getting pregnant? We spoke about this backstage earlier on. Maybe if you could share with us more on that.
Right. So actually, there are some of this indulgent lifestyle that can be harmful for fertility. So maybe let's speak about the usual suspects first. Yep. So we all know that drinking, smoking is bad for fertility because especially smoking. So smokers have been found that it's detrimental to both the sperms as well as the egg quality of the female as well. So you find that heavy smokers, they tend to have fertility issue in the long run. Drinking, so if you do binge drinking, by binge drinking we're saying if you drink more than 5 drinks in a night, which is actually not difficult for many people. But if you do that often enough, again, it affects the hormonal level in both the male and the female, and that could also impede on the fertility in the long run.
So these are usually the usual suspects. So what are the unusual suspects?
So the unusual suspects are interesting because I just want to touch on them, but they're controversial, of course. So let's talk about handphone, right? So I know that everyone uses handphone now. So many patients ask me what is the impact of handphone on their fertility, and has there been any studies that show that? So for the female, I haven't seen much studies, but for the male, I've seen many studies on that. So they have actually exposed the sperm, especially also looking at men who carry handphone in the pants for a long period of time, and looking at the sperm quality. So it has shown that long exposure to the handphone, which is a form of radiation, causes an impact which reduces the sperm quality, the number of sperm, as well as the shape of the sperm and the motility of the sperm as well.
So this motility of the sperm, what does that mean?
That means that a good sperm, usually they swim like a tadpole, right? So they are very fast, like commando. But a poor sperm can be, sometimes they can have 2 heads, or they can have 2 tails, or they can have no tail, they could have no head as well.
So mutated?
Mutated, yes. And also they could not, maybe they are not moving as well, they are not motile. So I've seen...
They're PESI.
PESI, yeah.
Can you don't discriminate? Sorry, doctor, yes, continue.
Yeah, so I've seen many young men with very poor sperm, and sometimes we have to ask them some of the lifestyle, whether it was the lifestyle that affect the sperm quality.
Right. So it looks like I need to carry a public...
but you don't want kids, what?
So you should be like me. I carry 2 handphones, 1 on each pocket. That's for contraception.
Okay, well, what about like tablets, laptops on your lap? Does it affect...
Oh, so that's interesting. Many of my patients ask that as well. But unfortunately, I really can't find any studies that's shown that that is harmful. But I do tell them that if they're pregnant, probably not to do that, because heat is dangerous for pregnancy. So just now we talked about fire. So heat is actually not good, because someone who has just conceived or in the early stage of fertility, we will find that if you're exposed to steam bath or sauna, high temperature, that can lead to spinal defects as well as brain deformity in the baby, especially in the first few weeks of the pregnancy. So because if you put on your laptop on your belly, you'll realize that it's going to be very hot, and that actually will increase the temperature manifold.
So avoid warm baths, avoid hot springs.
Yes. So for the men, unfortunately, sometimes it's an occupational hazard. So I've seen many healthy men who are in occupations like a firefighter, even army boys or those army regulars. Sometimes they are in an environment which is very hot, like in a tank, for instance. Chefs, I've seen many chefs, and they have very poor sperm quality, even though they're very young.
Right. So, Doctor, I just want to ask this, right? And of course, we spoke about this as well. The type of undergarment you wear, you know,
for men.
Does it affect? Yeah, for men, yeah. Does it affect?
Yes. So for men with poor sperm count, one of the advice I usually give them is to avoid wearing very tight underwear. That means that they should wear boxers, for instance, because you know the male anatomy, the scrotum is out of the body. There's a good reason why God created that way, because the temperature of sperm production has to be 2 degrees below the core temperature. So if you wear very tight underwear, that will actually increase the heat transmitted, and that can reduce the sperm count. Yes.
So don't wear pants that are too tight also, essentially.
In other words, right?
In other words.
Okay. Maybe I should start icing.
Okay, no. Okay, so there's another thing. So you were talking about handphones and radiation and heat. You also mentioned before about BPA and aluminium cans and drinks.
More on that.
Yeah, so interestingly, many people are looking at the effect of environmental toxins on fertility. And this is a big issue because we know that the many materials that we handle, like plastics, aluminum tins, even the receipts that we receive, they can be tainted with BPA or PVCs as well. So now PVC is very popular. If you look at the pants, which are which is non-stick, and also breathable clothes, a lot of them do have some PVC in them as well. Right. So interestingly, there was one research on PBA. This was done in Harvard, and they were looking at women, the eggs which were exposed to increasing level of PBA, and with increasing level of BPA, it causes a degeneration of the maturity of the eggs. Okay. Same thing for PVC as well. They have shown that PVC also will impact fertility for the female as well.
Right.
Yeah, so very interesting study. Although these are just preliminary research, I think as we look into more of the environmental factors, I think we should be mindful that can affect toxicity. I think we are very well known, like for instance, painting, paints. Paints can contain high level of lead. Right. So that can actually cause some lead poisoning, and that can actually affect the egg quality of the female.
Right. Again, for those of you who are watching us at home or wherever you are, if you have any questions at all with regard to fertility, getting pregnant, both male and female fertility, drop in the comment section below, and then we can ask Dr. right here. Yeah, right? And Doctor, for couples who are unable to get pregnant naturally, right, what are some of the methods that they can seek?
Right. I think the first thing we have to find out what is the cause of the lack of fertility. I think sometimes it's as simple as they're not having enough sex. Okay. So some couples come to see me, and when I ask them how often they have sexual intercourse to conceive, it's like once a month, once every 2 months, one every 3 months. So, the chance of the fertilization of the egg and the sperm will be quite slim if they do not have sufficient amount of sex.
So what's the optimum per week?
Per week, wow.
Yeah, optimum,
Well, so the optimal is usually advised as 3 times in a week because actually you can't do it every day as well. So some people thought that doing every day
I should be more mature about this. So sorry.
Will improve the quality. But actually when the man were to ejaculate every day, the quality drops tremendously.
The quality of the sperm drops?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's also not advised to do it every day.
So maybe like 3 times, especially during ovulation. So I think important is to time the ovulation to the sexual intercourse so that it's not too tiring for the couple. Yes.
Right. Okay.
And are there any myths about pregnancy or any myths about trying to get pregnant that you would like to correct?
Yeah. Well, lots. Pregnancy is like shrouded with myths, right? Because I think that most women are very fearful when they're pregnant. Very, very fearful. Yeah. They have some are even paranoia as well, because I can understand that as well, because this is a time which is very precious, and also many of them may have tried many years before they conceive, so it's a very precious pregnancy. So I think we just discussed maybe two briefly because of the shortage of time. Diet. So a lot of people ask me whether you can eat pineapple, whether you can get papaya during pregnancy, right? I'm sure you heard of that. Yeah. So let's talk about papaya. Actually, papaya was very interesting because there was a research done in Singapore, and this is done by our National University of Singapore, which they exposed the pregnancy. So these are actually in animal studies. So they made the rat eat papaya, pregnant rats. So they ate some ripe ones and some unripe ones. So the ripe ones are okay. So ripe one didn't show any effect, but the unripe one started to show that the uterus womb started to contract.
Oh.
And that causes cramps, of course, in pregnancy. And of course, with a lot of cramp, that could maybe lead to a miscarriage as well.
Right.
So I think that was very interesting study that shows that unripe papaya are probably not safe. Ripe papaya are okay. Pineapple, actually, there hasn't been much studies, but those studies that did shows that there hasn't been any detrimental effect on the pregnancy.
So pineapple is okay actually for pregnancy, just unripe papayas. I don't know why you would eat unripe papayas, but just don't eat unripe papayas. I mean, just don't eat unripe fruits, right?
But some people eat unripe mango. They like sour mango, things like that, pickled mango.
And raw food as well. I mean, a lot of people keep asking me whether they can have sashimi when they are pregnant. I think we should not because there's risk of salmonella infection. In fact, I think there was a period of time there was some mass food poisoning, and that could actually potentially lead to miscarriage for the female.
Right.
Maybe Dr. Tana, is there one last myth you would like to share? Before we go, one last pregnancy myth that you would like to correct?
I think firstly, I want women who are pregnant to enjoy the pregnancy. But this is a joyful time and they should experience the joy of the pregnancy, both physically and also emotionally. Because many studies have shown that, in fact, there was one study that was done in Singapore that shows that if the women were depressed during pregnancy, that can actually affect the brain development of the baby. And that could lead to depression of the baby later on in life. So whatever you do is important for your next generation. So I think with that, I think we should try to be happy when they are pregnant. And because a lot of them are very worrisome unnecessarily. I think speak to your doctors. Of course, look for some trusted information site so that you can be confident about the pregnancy.
So one such resource is Pregnancy Singapore, which Dr. Tan is wearing this T-shirt. So you can look for any information that you want about pregnancy online. So what's the website?
So it's at www.pregnancy.com.sg. So I started this website with many of my colleagues because in this time there are a lot of fake news and fake information, and that worries many pregnant women unnecessarily. So we thought with a trusted source of information written by professionals and in bite size, that will actually give them a lot of confidence in the pregnancy.
Right. All right. Once again, thank you, Doctor, for coming onto our show to share more about the birds and the bees. So the takeaway is, of course, males, please, wear something that is loose and airy. Don't heat it up too much. But if you need to heat it up a little bit, make sure it's 3 times a week.
That's the magic number, okay?
That's the magic. All right, once again, thank you so much, Doctor, for coming on to the show. Again, our website is www.pregnancy.com.sg.
That's right.
All right, moving on to our third segment, good news for movie buffs, because a lot of people are fans, right, of superhero movies. I am. Are you?
I am, kind of,
And or at least have 1 or 2 favorite characters. So when Marvel announced a whole list of upcoming superhero movies, which is part of the studio's Phase 4, at Comic-Con, the internet was and still is buzzing about it.
So they announced 11 new movies to be released from 2020 to 2021. So we want to ask you viewers, any new movies from Marvel that you're excited about? So I'm looking forward to Thor, Doctor Strange, and also Shang-Chi and the Eternals.
Okay. I'm looking forward to Loki. Because I like the character, I like Tom Hiddleston. And you like Thor because of Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth and Thor. I like Benedict Cumberbatch, who's in Doctor Strange. I like the whole Asianness of Shang-Chi and Eternals. I mean, I'm going to be very general about it.
Yeah. I mean, Tom Hiddleston, right? And then, Yeah, I like Doctor Strange as well because of the whole mysticism of it.
Yeah, he's got the whole magic thing going on,
magic
right?
power and stuff like that. Yeah, I like that a lot.
And also last week we were talking about the politics of race and racial diversity and representation in movies. So the new Marvel movies are quite similar. I mean, it's good, right? They've got diversity there. So the first one, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. There is Simu Liu, not Simi Liu, as I originally thought. It's Simu Liu. He's the main lead. He's a Chinese-Canadian actor, and you will recognize him from Kim's Convenience on Netflix.
Yeah, on Netflix, right? And then, of course, in the same show, so there's Tony Leung, who is going to be acting as the villain, the Mandarin, right? And of course, our favorite.
She's an it girl. She's the latest it girl. She's like in every movie now. She's everywhere.
Yeah, Aquafina. But of course, her role is still yet unknown. Now, if you don't know where Aquafina is from, Crazy Rich Asian?
Yeah, I think that was her breakout, I would say, maybe her more wider known role in Crazy Rich Asians. Okay, and the second movie is The Eternals. So there's Korean American Ma Dong-seok. He is the cute softie from Train to Busan.
Okay.
Look at that, so cute, right?
Yeah. And then, of course, we have cute lah. And then we move on to Middle Eastern representation as well. We have Pakistani-American actor Kumail Nanjiani.
And the movie will also be directed by Chloe Zhao, who is the first Asian woman to direct a Marvel movie.
Wow. And you know, of course, we want to pay homage to DC as well. DC is trying as well.
We'll give a shout out lah, okay.
Give a shout out, right, to DC. Now, another win for Asians also as a Filipina-Korean actress, Asia J. Basco, landed the role as Batgirl in an upcoming DC film, Birds of Prey.
So that movie will debut next year, and she has actually appeared in shows like Grey's Anatomy.
Oh,
I haven't been watching Grey's Anatomy though. I think it's what, 500 seasons already or something.
Yeah, like
it's like forever.
On and on and on
forever.
and on. Yep.
Okay, so this whole win aside though, the thing is there are people in China who are not happy with Tony Leung being casted in the Shang-Chi movie. That's because they feel like the plot belittles Chinese people while praising Americans.
Okay. And of course, you know, Tony Leung, I mean, hello, he's usually the hero, right? Like, why suddenly play villain?
Yeah, maybe he wants to expand his acting chops. I don't know, okay? But we'll give you more context. That's because, so this movie, Shang-Chi, at least this title, it was created by Stan Lee and another guy, I believe, in 1960. So this is during the American-Vietnam War.
Right.
And it was when there was a lot of racial strife, I guess. There was a lot of stereotypes, negative views of the East, of the Orient.
Okay.
And then this character also, I mean, it's very stereotypical lah. Like, I mean, Chinese character.
Then Kung Fu.
That's Kung Fu.
Mystical.
Magic. Infiltrates US government.
And then creates a terrorist group and all that. It's all this revolution of sorts kind of thing, right?
Very terrorist, communist sort of thing going on.
But then again, I mean, we'll just have to wait till the movie comes out because at the end of the day, who knows, you know, when it comes out, actually, you know, when it's being put into context, it's actually okay, right?
And hopefully they'll update it to suit the 21st century audience. I mean,
exactly.
We should move past all this racial
That's true,
stereotypes.
But again, let us know in the comment section, you know, really which movies are you looking forward to?
Okay.
All right, so with that, we are ending things off with Facebook Face Off. I think it doesn't help that our
it's like Kung Fu fighting.
Yeah, stereotypical also.
Maybe we'll change it. Okay, we'll see.
Okay, so for this segment, of course, Ellie and I, we trawl through our Straits Times Facebook page to find the dumbest comments that netizens put on, and then we go head to head and see who has a funnier comment. If you think Alyssa is funnier, you type in A.
If you think Hairianto is funnier, type in H.
Okay,
best of
you
three.
go.
All right, so this one, I kind of don't know whether it's funny. Okay, so ST Run, it's an advertisement. You sign up and then you stand to win a 65-inch Panasonic TV. Okay, worth $11,000 in a lucky draw. So Peter Tan, the ever enigmatic Peter Tan, says, "I'm willing to run that distance for the love of a woman, but not this."
Makes sense.
Yeah,
makes
but
sense.
Peter Tan, he runs? Because I thought someone did an expose here and he's actually kind of like, he doesn't look like a runner.
Hey. Don't discriminate, just like the Pessy sperms.
Oh, sorry, yeah, okay. That was quite insensitive. So.
All right, then, so I picked mine. Now, Jollibee basically said that it would acquire 100% of the coffee bean and tea leaf in a bid to boost overseas sales. Jay Lee says, yes, it will rename the chain as Jolly Bean and Tea Leaf. Finally, you find chicken joint all over the world.
Oh, that's nice.
So if you think that Alyssa is funnier, you type in A.
If you think Hairianto is funnier, type in H. Okay, round 2, you
Round
go.
2. Okay, I'll go. So basically, this is about the Pontian wonton noodles. Investigating employee who allegedly kept dumplings that fell on the floor. So he keeps on picking it up, right? But then, of course, allegedly, you know, the employee shouted, says, it's none of your business. James Fong then says, employee applied the traditional belief of 5-second rule. You know, where you drop your food and you quickly pick it up within 5 seconds?
Yes.
Funny what?
I suppose.
Okay,
you all decide, okay? All right, the one I chose is the police cordoned an area in Geylang Lorong 23 after they found a suspected World War II bomb.
Yeah.
Okay, so this auntie, Irene Ho, she said, this bomb probably cannot activate after so many years. And then you still need the bomb disposal unit to get rid of it and check it off. Okay, and then this actually led to a very long comment thread, okay? But the funny part is this guy. So Matthias said to her, well, in fact, the older it is, the more unstable, and I believe he's talking about the bomb. So Irene Ho just wanted to clarify and said, you referring to the bomb or me, huh? Because she said that she's 70 years old. Because someone asked her, how old are you, auntie? Then she said, I'm 70.
Oh my goodness. Okay, this is good. This is good. Okay, if you think Alyssa's comment is funny, you type in A.
If you think Hairianto is funny, you type in H.
This is good.
Okay, last round.
Last round, go.
Okay, so this one I chose Korean singer Hyuna. She was labelled as cheap after she wore seductive clothing on stage, as you can see in this pink shorts and bra top combo. So someone was quite logical in his comment. Larry Han Jingyuan, he says, well, then why people buy cheap? Why you get 3 quotations, then you just pay the cheapest? Because all this talk about cheap, right? But if you think about it, if you're the kind you ask for quotations, but you always just want to pay the lowest, then you cheap also.
Okay. Makes sense.
Right, Larry's got a lot of sense.
Okay, now my last comment. So basically, would you take a pay cut for an extra day off? Singaporeans, 6 most vacation deprived globally, will take pay cut for holiday. That's according to a poll. And then Chi Yan Fu, of course, hashtag hard truths. Your job is your vacation from poverty.
Your job is... Oh, okay, whoa. So deep. Had to think about it. Wow.
Now, if you think that Alyssa is funnier, you type in A.
If you think Hairianto is funnier, type in H.
That's right. So we're going to let you guys decide while
vote.
we read some comments.
Is your mom on this week?
She is, but you know, she hasn't said anything, you know, ever since you called her up.
Nope, not my fault.
Ohio Lin says, sounds an amazing movie. Thank you. Which one is that, Ohio? Samuel Tra says, cinemas should sell like this Marvel movie pass so people who like Marvel movies can buy this Marvel pass that allows entry to all the Marvel upcoming movies. Wow, that's a mouthful.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so Samuel Tra also says couples can go for fertility health check if they're planning for one. Definitely, I think that the doctor would agree as well.
Yeah. So again, for those of you who are watching, earlier on we actually had Daniel, right, from the Fire Prevention Centre Singapore to tell us what to do during an fire emergency, right? And of course, importantly, how to use the extinguisher, which is?
Pass.
Which are?
Not that I'm passing your question, but it's pass, which is pull the pin. A, you aim. S, you squeeze. And then last one, you...
Sweep.
I was going to say spray. But you sweep.
So that's how you use a fire extinguisher. And then after that, we spoke to Dr. Tan from Mount Elizabeth Novena Hospital, right? To talk to him about fertility rate, right? And how to up your chance in pregnancy. And of course, you know, what are some of the myths surrounding pregnancy as well?
That's right.
So, and then last but not least, then we talk about the upcoming Marvel movies as well.
Basically, we were just fangirling, fanboying.
Exactly. All right, so in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, who is the winner?
Actually, hey, you won? I won. Oh, wow. Oh, you know what? See, your mom voted for you. Your mom saves the day.
So that is 2 weeks, right?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. But both of us still hold the world record.
It's okay, you don't have to make me feel good. It's okay, I'm here, whatever, man. It's all right, no problem.
All right, now that is all we have for you for Hangout this week. For more news and videos, do log on to straightstimes.com.
We're also on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
And we also have our very own email as well as our Instagram. So if you want to get in touch with us, if you want to collaborate with us, if you have stories to pitch or anything at all, just slide in our DM or send us an email.
And we'll reply, we promise.
That's right. So that is all we have for you. Once again, she's Alyssa.
And he's Hairianto.
Goodbye and see you next week.